What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Duran Duran, and we're back to finish off the Seven and the Ragged Tiger album, 1983. Wanted to come back and sort of get to the final tune after I had reacted to Tiger Tiger very quickly, so here we are. And yeah, we're up to the Seventh Stranger. As I mentioned in the last reaction for this album, Tiger Tiger, I have heard this tune before. I reacted to the live version on Arena. So it'll be interesting to sort of go backward, you know, listen to the studio version after hearing a live version from a later live album. So yeah, I remember sonically about the live version that it had this sort of, you know, interesting kind of synth or like atmospheric sort of intro. I remember sonically overall the tune had kind of like deeply like introspective, or not introspective, but like brooding in one's own head, kind of like emotional sort of vibe. Like it had kind of like a moody rock sort of feel to it. So yeah, we'll have to see if, you know, that I'm remembering that right, or if, you know, that is a similar vibe as to this song, or it's entirely possible the live version I heard, you know, went in a slightly different sonic direction. But I imagine it's probably very similar, but maybe with some, you know, embellishments or flourishes that aren't in the version that I'm about to hear. But yeah, that's what I remember about the tune sonically. I will admit, lyrically, this is one that, you know, I didn't pick up on a whole lot, like in that first listen. So, and I have heard it a couple times since. You know, even the tunes that, you know, like I mentioned it before, like The Chauffeur, Careless Memories. I'm trying to remember. I mean, there's been a number of them, but when I hear them, they make such a big impression that I do listen to them a lot. And then there's been some others where I'll listen to them a few times. So yeah, I have listened to this again since that reaction, but I don't, I can't think of any of the like major lyrical themes. So obviously, you know, more integration of this song's like lyrical motifs to go. But ultimately, I am curious to hear if what I remember sonically about the live version holds true here, or if, you know, that was a notable enhancement or difference from the studio version. So. Yeah, Seventh Stranger as like a phrase, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but it does make me think of, you know, there's an entire Iron Maiden album called Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, and the whole album sort of, it's a concept album and it plays with the, you know, symbology of the number 7, and there's a number of different iterations. So, you know, Seventh Stranger, you know, the alliterative quality of seventh and stranger, and then also the idea of like, you know, enumerating different strangers and then, you know, placing significance on the seventh one. It is an interesting thing to me, although it's a bit opaque in terms of how that might be relevant in a sort of broader sense. So yeah, let me know what you think, but let's get into it. This is The Seventh Stranger on Seven and the Ragged Tiger by Duran Duran, 1983. Okay, yeah, I remember. Yeah. So that intro was not a live edition. Yeah, like now I'm instantly remembering. This is the one that I think reminded me of like Tears for Fears, Head Over Heels or something. Double bass in there. Maybe with the feet. I wouldn't say you're clueless or right. Somewhere in between. Okay, yeah. I remember that Chasing After Rainbows line. It's a very like visual one. could relate to their experience, like playing different shows, seeing just strangers' faces all the time. Little bass right before the measure change. I really like that. And that layer too, that melodic, it just comes in with that sort of like synthetic organ sort of quality. Like a, I don't know if it's like one of those slide percussive elements, but the percussion has like a slide to it. This outro. Yeah, that outro was fantastic. Yeah, again, I think fundamentally it had, the sound that I remember from the live version, but perhaps, like I said, there were some elements there that, are either added to in the live version, and it's hard to remember like in reverse. But yeah, I don't remember, I think, is that longer than the live version? I feel like that was maybe a little bit longer. I don't remember the exact the time for the track, but I feel like that was maybe like a minute longer or something. But yeah, it was cool. I very much enjoyed that, and that's a good tune to end an album. Not just because of the last little outro there, but it's a very like powerful and like, I think there's a lot going on in terms of like just the emotions of the sonics, never mind, some of the lines, which, it's like staying in your, like, what was it, shelter from danger, but like for a period of time, like, yeah, like I said, there's a lot going on there lyrically that I still have to catch up on. There were a few lines, and I think like the middle verse where I wondered whether it related to their experience as a group, as, musicians who travel around the world and see a whole lot of people. But then there were other elements there that perhaps I wasn't sure for that interpretation, although again, like the idea of like kind of falling back into a shelter is to, like maybe pull back from that, like, that the intensity of that life, or, sort of living that life to its, extreme, or in the most extreme way. So Yeah, like I said, I got to listen to that some more, and sort of now that I've heard both versions, perhaps like try to pick up on the lyrics a little more detail. But yeah, let me know if you have some insight. Let me know if you enjoy any of the sonic elements in particular. As I said, I don't know for sure if this track has any, or if this album has any bonus tracks. I'm sure a number of you will be familiar one way or the other. Once again, shout out to Izzy, shout out to Eli, shout out to Philip, shout out to Seb. A number of people have either sent me tunes or given me access to. So again, like I don't know if this album has any bonus tracks, but if it does, I imagine in one way or another I'll be able to react to them because of the awesome Duranis and just music lovers in general that have found my channel and made it into this sort of like group party that it's become. So again, shout out to all of you and any others that I didn't mention but have sent me something, or at least, in fact, I'm thinking now Mel, she sent me a link to a couple things, the idea that hopefully at some point I can react to YouTube videos. So yeah, there's a number of you who have, sort of suggested good material to go through at one point or another and in one way or another. So yeah, shout out to all of you. Let me know what you think of this one, and I'll see you next time. Peace.